Hello, this is Mariah Bechtel, and today I will be doing a presentation on how to write a research paper. Real quick, these are the Common Core standards that this lesson is based on, so you can look them over on your own time. I broke down the writing process into 6 basic steps: brainstorming, researching, creating an outline, the beginning of writing, citing your sources/formatting, and finalization of your product. I hope these are helpful to you. 3 things you'll need in order to write this research paper are Microsoft Word, access to the internet, and alpurdue.com, which has MLA formatting information as well as writing techniques, and access to a dictionary and thesaurus, which can be online or a print copy. So the first step in this writing process is brainstorming. The goal of this brainstorming is to think of a topic that you want to write your paper on and that you want to research. So a good place to start is thinking of something that interests you or you want to learn more about. Examples are the sinking of the Titanic, African tribes and their cultures, and the history of a famous writer. Really anything that you're curious about or want to learn about. So this is a list of ways that you can brainstorm. The first way is to write a list of things that interest you and choose something within that area to research. An example is if you're interested in sports, to research how sports influence grades in school. Another way to brainstorm is to make a list of questions that you've always wanted to know the answers to and research that to find out the answers. Another way is to write the 5 words that come to your mind first and work from those. And a fourth way to do that is to make a bubble map of what you want to research and all the different things that are connected to it. I encourage you to look into other ways to do brainstorming because there are a lot of creative and fun ways to do it. But these are just a couple that you can hopefully start off with. These are some questions that will help you to narrow your topic down once you've decided what you want to write on. The first question is, who are the important people involved in what you're writing about? What are the major issues? What are my opinions regarding the topic? Why is this an important or controversial or interesting topic? And how is this problem developed? Where and when? You can ask yourself these questions as you're writing your thesis statement so that you can get a more precise idea of what you're writing about. Okay, so now you're going to write your thesis statement. A thesis statement is a claim which you make at the beginning of your paper which the rest of your paper should support. So an example of this would be finalizing your topic and deciding, I will be researching the Titanic. So you need to specify that. I will be researching how the Titanic sank and the consequences of it. A good thesis statement for this topic would be, the sinking of the ship Titanic was a significant event in history that caused safety regulations to be implemented on similar ships and other forms of public transportation. This is a really good thesis statement because it allows your reader to know where you're going with your main point, what your main point is, and the rest of your paper will basically just be supporting what you just said. Next, we will start the actual research part of the paper. This is an important step because you want to make sure that you have reliable sources of information. So this is a good time to check out your local library and the library of your school for books. If you're doing research online, then enter keywords on your topic into the internet web browser like Google or Internet Explorer. And make sure that all of the words are spelled correctly and that proper words are capitalized. This helps to bring up more accurate and reliable sources instead of just Wikipedia sources or whatever else anybody else wants to put on the internet. For historical events such as the sinking of the Titanic, it's good to use primary documents. These are documents or physical objects which were written or created within the time under study. This helps you to have more reliable information and is more trustworthy. Encyclopedias are also a good source of information, but they're kind of a short overview of things, so try not to rely too heavily on them for your information. Considering online resources, it is really important to find reliable sources. Indicators of reliable websites are that it ends in a .edu or .org, depending on the website. .com is okay depending on whether the website is associated with a college or an academic institution. If there is an author of the website listed and the date of publication is present, it is oftentimes a more reliable website. And as long as the author cites its sources, it's almost sure to be a good source of information. Next, we will create an outline. An outline is basically a plan for how you're going to construct your paper. Outlines usually include an introductory paragraph and 3 to 4 support points and a conclusion. Supporting points can be split into multiple paragraphs. So if you have 2 paragraphs per point and you have 3 support points, you would end up with 6 supporting paragraphs. This is a very basic and simplified example of an outline for a paper. Basically, they have an introduction with their thesis statement, the purpose of the research paper, and the body has a strong argument, a stronger argument, and the strongest argument. And then the conclusion is the summary of the arguments. This is really simple, and you can follow this, or you can look up some other outlines that have more of a structure, but this is a good one to just start off of. When you're finished with your outline, you actually begin the process of writing your rough draft. When you're writing your rough draft, it's really important just to get through it, even if you feel like what you're writing isn't great. Getting the legwork done and writing as many pages as you're required to is really important. A really good tip for writing the rough draft is to make sure that you do your in-text citations while you're writing, so you recognize where you've gotten your research information right after you have your information. That way you don't have to go back and try to remember where you got your information from. It helps a lot. After you finish your initial rough draft, take a break. It's not good for your brain to just be working for such a long time, because when you go back and revise and edit your paper, you won't catch spelling mistakes and stuff like that. After your brain has a break, print out a copy of your paper so far and read through it. Pick out a brightly colored pen to mark up your paper with, and the first time reading through your paper is a time to make sure that your arguments make sense and that there aren't really any awkward sentences. Also, that your paper isn't just rambling on and that it isn't full of fluff. The second step of revising your paper includes correcting spelling mistakes, grammatical errors, and awkward sentences, but also your formatting. Something important to remember when writing a research paper is to avoid writing in the first or second person. So avoid using words I, you, we, us, those things, and write in a more of using words like he, she, they. A great place to find MLA formatting information for your paper is alpurdue.com. They have basically all you need to know for that and some extra resources for writing papers. This is a great little chart that helps you to know how to mark up your paper when you are revising and editing your paper. It shows you how to insert a comma and how to mark your paper if you need to capitalize something, or if you've misspelled something, or if you need to replace a word. So this is just really good, especially for future reference. When your teacher grades a paper, there will be lots of marks like this on there, and it'll help you to be able to interpret what your teacher puts on there. So citing our sources. If you haven't already recognized where you got your research information within your paper, this is the time to do it. In-text citations are really important. If you use a fact or any data that you got from some other resource, basically if you use any information that you didn't come up with yourself, you need to cite it within your paper. So how you do this is you use a parentheses and you put the name of the author of the website or book that you used for the information, and then a comma, and then the page number in the document that you found it. If there aren't page numbers on the document, then you don't need to put that, and you can just end the parentheses and put a period. It's really important to make sure that the period of your sentence is after the parentheses, which is really weird, but that's just how MLA formatting does it. Next, we have the Works Cited page. You could have done this before you did your in-text citations, but it's okay to do it at the end. I usually do it at the end. This is just a collection of sources that you use to get information for your paper. It's at the very end, and it's a lot of formatting and a lot of work if you don't know how to format. Sometimes online sources have a citation option that automatically formats a citation for you, and you just have to copy and paste it. Remember to always use MLA formatting for English papers unless your teacher says otherwise. Once again, OutPurdue is a great resource to use for this, especially because there is a difference between how you cite a website and books and if you use a song or an image. So we've reached the final step of your research paper writing process. This is to finalize things. This is the easiest step because you've basically done all the work up to this point, and now you just have to do a couple more tweaks and then you'll be done. So have several friends read over and mark up your paper and read it over again yourself. Make any final corrections, and if you want to, you can ask your teacher to look over it before they grade it. Don't be afraid to ask them because teachers actually often enjoy students who want to do well. And this will really benefit you in the long run because they'll correct things that they would have corrected on your final paper, and then you'll be able to get a better grade for that. So after that, you'll print out your paper and you'll turn in a copy online if your teacher desires that, and then turn it in a hard copy in person. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this helped you guys, and good luck on your paper.